Welcome. If you were catching me on the replay, today I'm talking about what do you do? Not do I do. What do you do with all those business cards? This is really for the people who are the collectors of business cards at networking events and whatnot, and you never process them. So we're going to talk about that today. Feel free to ask me questions afterwards because I'll be revisiting all the comments. Thank you, StreamYard, for letting me go live in 3 different places. And it's very exciting. So welcome. So this came up 3 times for me. And I always know that when a question comes up repetitively within like a week or 2-week span, that it's time for me to talk about it. One person was my husband, the other person was a client, and then another person was someone in my community. Okay. Oh, you quilt them. Welcome, Chad. Thank you for making me laugh. I needed that this morning. But that's a great idea. Let's make a quilt out of all those business cards. So if you're the type of person that goes to a conference, a networking event, and you gather as many business cards as you can, and you don't do anything with them, and you have stacks of them all over your office or your home or wherever, or maybe they are organized. Like I used to organize mine in a little binder with the little plastic sheet things that you could just pop them in. Had so many of them. I had them organized by all the ways, and I no longer have any of them. So I'm going to talk about that today. This is a great time to tackle all those old business cards because many of us have not been networking in person, so we don't really have a lot of new ones coming in. So it's a good time to get a handle on them and then kind of think about what you're going to do going forward. So there's 2 ways that you can tackle business cards. You can gather them all up and chip away at them by literally saying, I'm going to keep this one, I'm going to get rid of this one. Keep it, get rid of, keep it, get rid of. And then once you have your keep pile, you can then process them. Or if that seems too overwhelming, you can grab a stack every day, once a week, a couple times a week, maybe once a month. You can set some time aside to chip away at them. And if you're doing that, then you'd be processing them all at once. You'd want to say, okay, this is a person that I no longer need. And I'm going to talk about the questions that you can ask yourself. Or this is somebody that I want to connect with. How am I going to do that? So as you're going through your contacts, your business cards, you're going to come across people that you have no idea who they are. You don't remember where you met them because you didn't take a note on the card or why you connected with them. Or maybe you grabbed it at the time thinking they would be a good connection. You no longer want to connect with them. Those are the people that you're going to just kind of get rid of, recycle those business cards. It kind of makes me sad because I know people pay a lot of money for business cards, but that's what they're for. They're to give your information and then for people to let them go and connect with you. You want to ask yourself, so if there's still a viable contact, whether it's somebody that you want a lead or a prospect, somebody upper that you want to meet with, maybe it's a friend, but I'll talk about that in a minute, or it's something personal. Maybe it's, your car dealership or, a connection that you have for something in your personal life. So ask yourself those questions. And if they are people that you want to connect with, now you want to do is find out, well, first of all, are you connected with them? Because you could be connected with them already. You don't need their card. You might be connected on LinkedIn, Facebook. They might be in your phone database or in your CRM. So at that point, you can let go of them. But if you're not connected to them and they're not in your contacts or your CRM or Evernote, which I'm going to talk about, my favorite, then you want to make sure that you're doing something with them. You want to connect with these people because what's happening is, I talked about this last week in information hoarding. Holding onto business cards is information. It's information on people that you want to connect with. So you don't want to leave those open loops. Having those all around is a reminder that you've grabbed all these cards and you haven't connected with all these people. And, chances are a huge percentage of them are people that you don't really need to connect with. So it's good to get through all those and really be left with the people that you want to connect with. So how can you connect with people? Once you take your card, what are you going to do with it? The goal really is to get rid of that card. And to get rid of that card, if it's someone you want to connect with, you want to send them a connection on LinkedIn. Say, hey, I've been processing all my old business cards and I came across yours and I would love to connect, and whatever you want to say, depending on who they are, if they're a partner, if they're a lead, Obviously, we don't want to be salesy and, connect with them just for that reason. You want to get to know people, right? If you have a CRM, you want to put them in there, especially if there's a lead. Maybe you just put them in your contact on your phone, depending, maybe that's just somebody that you want to call. But if you do that, they could get lost in there. So it's really good to have, maybe make that phone call, make the connection, connect with them somewhere, whether it's somewhere else on social media, it could be Facebook, Instagram, wherever those people are the most. So, because the important thing is you want to connect. So let me talk about Evernote, because this is a big one for me. This is what I do. Doesn't mean that I recommend that you do it, but if it sounds like something that works for you, then definitely try it. So initially Evernote Premium used to connect with LinkedIn, and that was a beautiful thing because you would scan the business card, the card would be in your notes, and right there would be an option to connect with that person on LinkedIn. So if you were somebody who was keeping up with stuff, that was wonderful because you meet someone at an event, you scan it, boom, connected, you're connected, the connection is made and it's just not lost, right? You can no longer do that. You can scan the business card still. That is still an option with Premium. And you can use the scannable app, which goes along with LinkedIn, Evernote, which makes it super easy. When you scan it, it scans it as a business card and it puts it in, and you can add those people to your contacts. This would be so say you were putting people in your contacts and there's somebody that you want to connect with. If you scan it into LinkedIn as a note, you can then tag it as, follow up with this person. Or maybe you use tags like, so what I was saying before is you're going to have people that are going to be leads. You're going to have people that you want to partner with. And then you're going to have personal, whether they're friends or personal services that you need to use for yourself. You can put those people into Evernote and add those type of tags, whatever makes sense to you. And you could add a tag follow up so that you could just make sure that if you put them in your phone contact, because if you don't have a CRM, or you don't want to connect with them on LinkedIn because they're maybe, like I said, your car repair guy and you don't want to connect with them there, this would be a way for you to easily find them, because Evernote is such a powerful tool for search. You can put that card in there, and even if you didn't tag it, if you remembered, you searched for car repair, if we're talking about your mechanic, if that is on their business card, it's going to pop up in your notes. So it helps you not really think about what you're putting in there. Did that make sense? No, it didn't. I need more coffee. Meaning, if you didn't tag them, you'd still be able to find them. Whether you remember their name, or whether you remembered what they do, or maybe where they're located, you can search through your notes, which is awesome. And I think that is all I wanted to talk about with business cards. It's really important, though, to know how these affect your brain. It wasn't really affecting my husband's brain. He left one company and went to another one, and he had cleaned out his office, and he just had them all in a box lined up. He had multiples of multiple people, so it was really easy for him to go through and just get rid of all the ones that he didn't want, and then he kept the ones that he wanted to keep. So he knows he needs to connect with them. But other people, he's not in business for himself, so he's not trying to build a community and build those leads and those partners. Well, he is, but not for the same reasons. So for him, that was really easy. But for somebody who's really looking to expand their community, having that open loop of that pile of cards, even if you can't see them, your brain knows that they're there. But especially if they're out and you see them, and you probably walk by them 10 times a day and don't realize that it really does affect everything. So process them. Do it now before we open back up. Hopefully we'll have some in-person networking and conferences and events again. And so that when you have everything set and you kind of have a system in place of where you're going to put people, whether it's in a CRM or Evernote, or you're going to connect with them on LinkedIn, or maybe all three, because it could just depend on the type of person, that you'll do that going forward. You come home from a conference, you'll say, okay, I need to connect with these people because you'll remember them. You should remember them. But if you're the type of person that isn't going to remember, make those notes on the card, who they are, where you met them, and whatnot. And at least you'll have that connection. Hey, we met at social media marketing world. I'm going to say that Chad's not here anymore, but I'll use him as an example because I know he goes there. Yeah. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat. Assuming I'm live everywhere, I'm going to go back and check. And again, I'm holding a weekly class right now, live, for processing information, and whether it's paper or digital. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to pop that in the link in the comments. And I would love to have you join me, whether it's, if this tomorrow is a great time for you, you just want to pop in, do that, but just keep your eye out for future ones. I'm doing them weekly for a bit. And then it's probably going to become like an evergreen class. So I hope you all have a wonderful day and see you next week with what question? I don't know. If you have a question, ask me. Anything about organizing. It can be about business, it can be about home, it can be about life. Have an awesome day.